you recall the earlier discussion of semantic networks? The reason people are more likely to come up with plate after reading about a picnic is that plate is associated, linked with picnic. Plate was primed by activating the semantic network. Similarly, petal is linked to flower and is primed by flower. Priming is also the reason you probably said jelly in response to peanut butter. Implicit emotional conditioning is the type of memory involved in classically conditioned emotion responses. Olson Fazio, 2001. These emotional relationships cannot be reported or recalled, but can be associated with different stimuli. For example, specific smells can cause specific emotional responses for some people. If there's a smell that makes you feel positive and nostalgic, and you don't know where that response comes from, it is an implicit emotional response. Similarly, most people have a song that causes a specific emotional response. That song's effect could be an implicit emotional memory. Young, Shu, Du, Shi, and Fang, 2011. Everyday connection. Can you remember everything you ever did or said? Episodic memories are also called autobiographical memories. Let's quickly test your autobiographical memory. What were you wearing exactly 5 years ago today? What did you eat for lunch on April 10th, 2009? You probably find it difficult, if not impossible, to answer these questions. Can you remember every event you have experienced over the course of your life? Meals, conversations, clothing choices, weather conditions, and so on? Most likely, none of us could even come close to answering these questions. However, American actress Marilu Henner, best known for the television show Taxi, can remember. She has an amazing and highly superior autobiographical memory, figure 8.7. A photograph shows Marilu Henner, figure 8.7. Marilu Henner's super autobiographical memory is known as hyperthymesia. Credit Mark Richardson. Very few people can recall events in this way. Right now, fewer than 20 have been identified as having this ability, and only a few have been studied. Parker, Cahill, and McGaw, 2006. And although hyperthymesia normally appears in adolescence, 2 children in the United States appear to have memories from well before their 10th birthdays. Link to learning, watch this video about superior autobiographical memory from the television news show, 60 Minutes to Learn More, Retrieval. So you have worked hard to encode, via effortful processing, and store some important information for your upcoming final exam. How do you get that information back out of storage when you need it? The act of getting information out of memory storage and back into conscious awareness is known as retrieval. This would be similar to finding and opening a paper you had previously saved on your computer's hard drive. Now it's back on your desktop, and you can work with it again. Our ability to retrieve information from long-term memory is vital to our everyday functioning. You must be able to retrieve information from memory in order to do everything from knowing how to brush your hair and teeth, to driving to work, to knowing how to perform your job once you get there. There are 3 ways you can retrieve information out of your long-term memory storage system: recall, recognition, and relearning. Recall is what we most often think about when we talk about memory retrieval. It means you can access information without cues. For example, you would use recall for an essay test. Recognition happens when you identify information that you have previously learned after encountering it again. It involves a process of comparison. When you take a multiple choice test, you're relying on recognition to help you choose the correct answer. Here is another example. Let's say you graduated from high school 10 years ago. and you have returned to your hometown for your 10-year reunion. You may not be able to recall all of your classmates, but you recognize many of them based on their yearbook photos. The third form of retrieval is relearning, and it's just what it sounds like. It involves learning information that you previously learned. Whitney took Spanish in high school, but after high school she did not have the opportunity to speak Spanish. Whitney is now 31, and her company has offered her an opportunity to work in their Mexico City office. In order to prepare herself, she enrolls in a Spanish course at the local community center. She's surprised at how quickly she's able to pick up the language after not speaking it for 13 years. This is an example of relearning, being